Hey, it's cold outside. I wish I had something hot to eat. Hey there, YouTube. Well, you know what we're cooking today. Brunswick Stew. And you might ask yourself, what is Brunswick Stew? Where is it from? What's in it? I'll explain it to you. I'll show you what's in it. I'll show you how to make it. I can tell you, though, first off, that Brunswick Stew is basically a hunter stew or a leftover stew. It's basically taking a bunch of meat you got lying around and throwing it in vegetable soup. That's pretty much how I can describe it. You know where it comes from? I don't know. It's southern for sure. People in Georgia will tell you it's from Brunswick, down on the coast, Brunswick, Georgia. People in Virginia will tell you no, it's not from Georgia, it's from Virginia. It's from Brunswick County, Virginia. I, for one, think it's from North Carolina. You know, and why not? We have a Brunswick County, and I think our Brunswick stew is the best. Realistically, though, it's probably some guy named Ralph in the Bronx who wrote the recipe one night, and now everybody's just using it. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, we're making Eastern-style Brunswick stew today, and what separates that from, the other recipes to north and south of us is that this includes potatoes, and it mostly involves pork and chicken. You can add beef. Some recipes call for beef, and some recipes don't. It's totally up to you. In this case, I'm using the beef. All you're going to need is a pork shoulder, a chicken, and a chuck roast if you feel like making the extra purchase. You don't got to do anything fancy with it. You just prep your shoulder and your chuck roast and your chicken how you usually would. You're basically just going to take the meat and use it like leftovers and put it in the stew. You're not going to use all of it. Now, I can tell you, in my personal opinion, I think the Carolina-style Brunswick stew is more pork and chicken and not beef. Because I lived here a long time and I rarely see cows. I honestly think that there are more chickens and pigs in the state than there are people. Anyways, we're going to need some things. Let's go to the store. Alright, so you're going to need some things. 2 cans of tomatoes. You can buy them whole or crushed. Personally, I think probably crushed is better. 2 cans of corn, 15-ounce cans. You can get white or yellow, sweet or whatever. I use mixed and matched. That works. A can of tomato puree. One big old bottle of tomato juice. You're going to need at least 50 ounces of that. Texas Pete, you won't need a whole lot, just an ounce, but if you want some later on, I'd worth the purchase. Some butter beans. They're kind of like limas, but they're bigger and they're white. You can buy them large or baby. It's totally up to you which one you want to buy. I've had either or. Makes no difference. Apple cider vinegar. Need some of that. Worcestershire sauce. Butter, you're going to need 1 stick. You can buy the healthier butter or the crap butter, it don't make a difference. Tomato ketchup, any kind will do. Beef broth, now this is an option you can use, and I'll show you how you can use it later on. You don't have to buy it. You're going to need 3/4 pound of chopped onion. It's easier to buy it pre-chopped, or where there's no crime. Salt and pepper, of course. And some sugar. White sugar. You can use stevia if you want. That's what I'm using because it's 0 calorie. It's totally up to you. Oh, you know what I forgot? Potatoes. Pick up some potatoes. You'll need 5 pounds of potatoes. Just peel them. Cut them into cubes. If you can do it as fast as me, it's pretty good. Once you got them all cubed up, throw them in your boiling water. And add some beef broth. I add the beef broth even though I was adding beef to my stew, but if you're not going to add beef, just pork and chicken, it might add a little flavor to your potatoes. I've done it before where I just did pork and chicken and I added the beef broth. It seemed to help a little bit. I don't know if it makes a huge difference, but if you got it, purchase it. Can't hurt. Really, it can't. Take your 3/4 pound onion, put it in a pan with a little vegetable oil. about a container and a half here. It looks pretty good. Yeah. Those taters a stir. Well, these onions, all you want to do is just make them translucent, maybe brown them up a little bit. Once you're done, throw them in the pot. You're going to need 48 ounces of tomato juice on top. Give it a little stir. Need 2 cans of tomatoes, drained. Like I said, you can use crushed. 2 cans of butter beans, drained and rinsed. 2 cans of corn, drained. 1 can of tomato puree. 4.5 ounces of ketchup. 1 stick of butter. 1 ounce of apple cider vinegar. 1.5 ounce of Worcestershire. 3 tablespoons of sugar. 1 tablespoon of salt. 1 tablespoon of pepper. And you need 4 tablespoons of Texas Pete. Once you got that all together in a pot, give it a good stir. Bring that thing to a boil. Once you got it to a boil, reduce it to a simmer. Now once you got it to a simmer, you can take your meat. In this case, I measured out my meat. I'm using 1 1/4 pounds of pork, 1 pound of beef, and a half a rotisserie chicken. Now I didn't smoke the chicken, I just bought a rotisserie chicken because it was just frankly cheaper and easier to do that. Plus I didn't have a lot of room in my 18 because I got an extra pork shoulder in there. And that's how I've done it before. It's fine. You're not using a lot of chicken, so you can buy the rotisserie. It's just fine. Now if you're not going to use beef, just add more pork. So in this case, add 1 pound more of pork. You're still going to use just a half chicken. Anyways, you'll see I'm using 2 pots here. I don't have a big old pot. If you got a big old pot, fantastic. If you don't, once you got the all the ingredients mixed up minus the meat, bring it to a boil, mix it up real well. You can split it, and then just split the recipe in each pot. It doesn't really matter. What you want to do basically is put all the meat in there in the pots, give it a good stir, bring it to a boil, and then reduce it to a simmer, stirring it occasionally, every 30 minutes to an hour, stirring it. And you're gonna leave it on that simmer for about 3 to 4 hours. What you wind up doing is just reducing the amount of fluid in there so it becomes less soupy and more like a stew. And that's basically it. Once it's been on there for a couple hours, pour it in a bowl, serve it with some crackers, maybe a side of coleslaw. That's it. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.